MSC Cruisecast is a Triple T production. Now, the Taste Try Travel team of Beth and Chris.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
It's always an awkward hello, isn't it?
I think you're expecting me to say
you
hello.
usually start.
Well, this is
What?
special. This is a special newscast version.
It is.
Of the MSC Cruisecast.
Yep.
We are to break into your regularly scheduled programming. When we're done with this, we'll send you back to the Brady Bunch episode that you were watching.
That's right.
I feel like I think my program has...
What?
Has some sound effects. I feel like there should be like some noise that like... Well... That isn't quite as...
We can practice this at a time. Don't start anything that we haven't done before.
That isn't quite as exciting as I was hoping, but...
Well, welcome everyone to this week's MSC Cruisecast. I am Beth. This is Chris with Taste Try Travel. And there go his glasses. The show is done. There's nothing else we can do.
Can't see anything.
Sorry, Stashy Poo.
There we go.
We have a couple news. We spent today a fun day, kind of, but we spent a lot of money, and it is for something that is for the channel. So we'll tell you about that towards the end.
Oh, I was going to say, you are in the news business called burying the lead. If you're going to lead with, we spent some money today. That is breaking news. We spent money today.
No. Two things that we've been waiting for. So we're going to talk about two things today. The 2025-2026 Caribbean booking season is open. So we're going to talk about the ships that are going to be, there's going to be 7 ships. So we're going to go over that.
As if we weren't already enough in debt.
Here we go.
Opened up some more.
And we need to go on more of these. And there's a rumor, maybe it's not official, it hasn't come through any of the official channels, of a new class of MSC ships after. No, you can't do that. That's not an option. A new class of ships after these world class of ships. So we're going to talk about that. So, let's just start in, okay?
Let's start. Let's get to it.
This is
I'm excited.
From our contact at MSC. This is posted multiple places, though. So just in winter 2025-2026, Caribbean and Bahama itineraries are now open to book, with 7 ships sailing from convenient ports across the U.S. Your client, it's going to be exciting. So I wanted to go over all those ships. Okay.
Yada, yada, yada. It's going to be exciting.
We're going to break down the 7 ships. So one, which was in the news recently, which we talked about, MSC Grandiosa, will come over December of next year. So
where is it right now?
Currently she's in the Med. She's doing I know. Oh, is that like?
Oh my goodness! You're like the cruise lingo in the Med.
She's cruising in the Mediterranean right now. That's where she's been. She goes back and forth between there and northern.
What do you call the Baltic?
The ball. Okay, stop with your jokes. Grandiosa. She is the largest cruise ship in MSC fleet that will be sailing in the U.S. when she gets here next year. So
what?
She's going to be the largest MSC ship cruising the U.S.
Cruising the U.S. Gotcha, because World America is...
The Europa is larger.
World
Europa is in the Med.
It's in the Med.
And World America won't get there until April of... Wait a second. Did I totally mess that up? When is World America coming out? 25, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Grandiosa is the largest. I don't know. Just erase that whole thing.
Grandiosa is going to be the second largest.
Is it?
Well, it's 181,000 tons.
Okay.
And
so you looked it up.
I did. And World America is going to be 213.
215.
215.
Mm-hmm. And Europe is 215.
Yeah. So it'll be the second biggest.
Okay.
So I was going to play.
So it went off on a tangent.
I was going to play the horn noise with it being the largest, but it's only going to be the second largest. So,
okay, so let's talk about getting back to the ships that are going to be in the Caribbean. So we're going to have the Grandiosa out of Port Canaveral. Also out of Port Canaveral is going to be the Seashore doing 3 and 4 nights. We love the Seashore. We're excited. That's the one we're going on next. So, but anyway, those will still.
If you couldn't tell that we love the Seashore, you could tell from Beth's voice right there.
Why? Was I really boring?
We love the Seashore. It sounded like you had to say it. We love the Seashore. All right.
So Grandiosa and Seashore are going to be going out of Port Canaveral. Meraviglia is still going to be going out in New York. I think that's been and still is a success for MSC. Still good prices out of there, but it's there for good. I want to go on
that again, but we are so booked out now.
I know.
It's going to be like 8 years before I get back on Meraviglia.
Let's talk about Galveston. The Seascape is going to be going out of Galveston. Probably doing 7 days. And then we're in Miami. So Miami, we're going to have a couple ships. Obviously, the World America is going to be doing 7 days, Eastern and Western Caribbean. The Seaside is going to be doing Miami, out of Miami, 3 and 4 days, so a little bit shorter ones. And then Divina. So the Divina is another wonderful little ship I want to get on. We've heard such good things about it. They're going to do some really cool, like longer cruises. So some like 14, 18 nights, like going all the way down into the Southern Caribbean. I was looking at some of those itineraries and they look great. So
a couple things about all those ships. The Divina, I think, is kind of funny just because we've been cruising as a couple for 20 years.
Yeah.
Over that, 25 years. And we've been cruising individually for 40 years.
Right.
It's so funny to hear somebody say that the Divina is it's one of those smaller, fun ships.
I know.
It's 140,000 tons, which back 15 years ago was massive.
Yeah.
Like you were like, oh my goodness, 140,000 tons.
But now it feels small.
Now it is. It is small. It's on the smaller side for a cruise ship. Yeah. So I just think that's funny.
It is.
On the Seaside, it's only going to be doing 3 and 4 day cruises. Is that what you said?
I think so.
Like weekend and week day cruises.
So you got to remember, So there's a couple of ships going in and out of Miami. So they just have to, so.
One, like we always say, why would you want to get on the seaside for 3 days?
Maybe that's all people can do.
We need to start a non-profit for those poor people that can only go on the ship
3 days.
3 days. Because it's so depressing when you get on a ship. We've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
When you get on a ship and you're like, and then you're like, I got packed to get back off the next day.
Your embarkation day. You get a welcome, and then that night you get here's your disembarkation instructions.
Exactly. That's so depressing.
That would be horrible.
That is so depressing.
Well, but we've already talked about doing the back-to-backs with MSC, which is really great. So it really still opens all of those ships up to doing 7 days, 10 days, different options. So.
Exactly. Because those back-to-backs, like we just experienced, are a breeze. They're fun, in fact. They're not just a breeze. They're actually a fun experience.
Yeah.
And the World America.
Yeah.
I learned something just an hour ago about the World America that I didn't know, and maybe you knew. I don't know if you knew.
What?
The World America was not completely built in the French shipyard where it is now.
Really? I did not know that. I assumed it was.
I know. So did I. But the actual floating structure, the hull of the ship was built in Poland, in Gdansk, if I'm saying that correctly. In Poland, in 3 blocks.
Wow.
So there was the front section with the bow.
Right.
There's the middle section and then the rear section. So 3 blocks. And each of those blocks was individually floated to the shipyard in France.
Gosh, that seems like a lot. Do you think they got like a better deal, or like do they like shop around for a...
That's right. They're like, well, all right. So France, you can build it on one for $700 million. Gdansk, you can build it in 3 sections for $680 million. Or Dollar General has pre-made sections of ships
they can just
for
keep adding them on.
$1.25.
No, I didn't realize that. I guess I just assumed it was all done in that one shipyard.
No, that was built in 3 sections. The hull, was like I said, it was floated in 3 sections. Then the hull was assembled there. Then they put the superstructure on top, and then just a few weeks ago, it was floated out and floated back into. Now
they're doing all the interiors.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly to outfit the world. I didn't know that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It's
just such a massive undertaking.
I know. I can't even imagine like the head engineer at the beginning, like trying to figure all that out.
Right.
Like what needs to be done where, and thank goodness for computers, I guess.
Exactly. Then of course in Miami is going to be the Divina doing longer, and the World America and the Seaside. So I think that's a really great kind of balance. Now I did want to mention the Magnifica because she has been in the Caribbean for the last couple of years, but she's going to be moving over to the Mediterranean, and then I believe it's going to be the second. I couldn't do the research in time quick enough, but I believe this is going to be the second world cruise. MSC did its first on the Magnifica. Remember, we saw pictures of it when we were on that in February. So she's doing another one January.
Hopefully they can afford a better picture rather than printed out on 8x17
that's right,
pieces of paper and glue them together on a board.
So for those of you listening, when we were on the Magnificat, there was at some point in the ship, I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was this wall that had all this really interesting information about the first world cruise that the ship had gone on, and everything looked neat, and they had like great pictures, but was it the actual like picture of the ship? It was like a big flyer that had been like folded up and like inserted into like a magazine or something, because the only thing that they had that showed the ship was like this big unfolded
I think that what happened is they went to Google. They Googled MSC Magnifica. And the picture came up, and they're like, they downloaded it.
They did not.
And then blew it up, and they're like, we can't, our printer only prints 11x17. So, all right, we'll break it up into 4 parts.
But it did look funny. Anyway, she's going to be going on that in 2026, which is hitting 21 countries. It's starting at like $16,000 per person.
Yeah, no problem.
How cool would that be?
Oh.
#goals.
I don't, really and truly, I'm not sure that would be a goal or not.
Oh,
it would be so much fun to.
I would miss our animals way too much.
Exactly. We've done.
We did a 21 day.
And towards the end, I was like, I'm kind of ready for this to be over.
It was a lot. Yeah.
So I'm not sure that 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
It's 100. I think it said 119 days, with 67 of those days being sea days. So I think if you had enough money and you could do some short excursions and things like that, but if you were like broke just getting on there, it would be a long couple months.
I don't want shrimp cocktail again. Really, shrimp cocktail?
Anyway, so that is all available for you guys to book. So you can book online if you need a great agent. Of course, we always have our travel agent listed down in the information, right?
Yes.
There we go. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which came across, I don't know.
This is the big news. We kind of did bury the lead.
So I don't know if many of you follow, but I follow the unofficial fan club of MSC Cruises fan club unofficial. And he's a really great guy, and he posts a lot of information. And so this is where we found this post. And like I said, it's not coming directly from MSC, but he didn't put out stuff that's, I don't know. He is usually pretty right on. So
he's got some sources.
He does. He has a lot of sources inside MSC. So this post is MSC Cruises, the third largest cruise ship company in the world, and the Finnish shipyard Meyer Turku started negotiations on the construction of a new generation of megaships up to 250,000 tons, which will exceed the 248,000 tons of Royal Caribbean's Icon class, currently the ship class, which is the largest in the world. And this new type of ship construction could start as soon as 2028. So we're posting a picture. We're going to post it. I'm sorry for all you guys listening. It's going to be like these random sounds now. Chris has never found this feature before. He just found it. He wasn't even listening to my thing. He was just waiting.
I was just waiting for you to be done. I don't even know what you said.
So we're showing it's interesting, the picture. Now, this had to have come from MSC. But it looks like an artist rendering of a ship. We will post it on our social media as well, so you can see that. But it looks like a very futuristic ship. But what I think is so fun, I didn't really realize that MSC was going to be in the running to have the world's largest ships. I guess I didn't realize that was maybe a goal of theirs. I mean, definitely know they're trying to like step up their game big time, but this is like they want to be top. Right. They got the money for it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't,
because
I'm struggling with it a little myself.
I do not enjoy the mega giant huge ships as much as I enjoy like the medium sized ships or the small ships.
Right. Yeah. Which we found out with the, Magnifica.
Well, I mean, we've been on a few small ships.
Yeah.
They just feel different.
They do.
And those big ships,
you kind of lose a little bit of the personality.
Well, here's what I didn't feel when we were on the Wonder of the Sea,
which is the biggest we've been on. Yeah.
Which is just a few tons under the biggest.
Yeah.
It felt like kind of like I was in a very large mall with a hotel attached to it.
Okay. Yep.
You kind of lose the feeling of being on a steamer.
Yeah.
On a cruise ship.
Yeah. I have something to say about that. And I don't like that. I like feeling like I'm back in 1910 and I got big old whiskers and I got my pipe with me and some sort of hat, some sort of seafaring hat, and I'm sitting on the deck chairs. And I don't think you're going to find that in this type of ship. But let me say something about this, because I know exactly what you're saying. And that's one of the struggles that we had with that Wonder of the Seas was you never saw the sea, right? So you missed that part of being close to the ocean. Now, I would think that the one company who would do it well and who would give you that space to see the ocean would be MSC. That's a really big push for them. So, but maybe when you start to get that big, maybe structurally, maybe there's a lot of things that you can't do.
Right. So when you get that big, they're like, it doesn't really balance out unless you push all the chairs to the edge and nobody can see the ocean. So just stick those deck chairs all the way to the edge. Nobody can get up to see the ocean. Yeah. They have to peer past people drinking their pina colada to see any of the ocean that's out there.
Well, the rendering definitely has like a panorama deck, it looks like. But
Yeah,
who
it
knows,
looks like that.
Who knows if that is actually going to really be what it is? But
Exactly. I
Yeah.
have no idea if this is
Yeah.
their concept art. It looks like their concept art because
Yeah.
it does look a little has features
It has that-
you can see that are on the world Europa and the
Right.
world America. So it seems like a natural
yeah.
progression. Now, one of the things that I did like about those giant ships
Mm-hmm.
is the dining selections.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The variety that they provided in the different restaurants and different dining venues and
Right.
the different quick service.
Anything you could imagine
areas.
you could have.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of pulled in two ways. I really like that you've got all that choice.
Yeah.
And you don't have to just be stuck in one area or one restaurant, or you've got
And people
dozens.
spread out quite a
Yeah.
bit on it.
But like I said, I like that old timey feeling of feel. I like feeling the ocean a little too. Those big ships, although the World of the Seas, we could feel it. We really could when we were sailing on that.
So my struggle with this is that I have a hard time relaxing on these bigger ships because I feel like there's something to do. There's something more to do. There's
there
like
is.
so much more to do than you can actually do.
Yeah.
And so you have that FOMO, right? And just so you can't, like, I personally just struggle relaxing in that kind of situation. And especially like when we were on the Wonder of the Sea, we had that unlimited dining. So I was like, let's go. We're going to make use of this, right?
We ate 8 times a day.
So they have some really cool restaurants on the World America. So I think we're going to start to even feel it on that size ship, right? So that's my struggle.
I almost grew resentful of crew members offering me French fries on that ship. Like, you want fries? And I was like, no, I've had fries 8 times today.
Which ship?
Stop offering me fries on the Wonder of the Seas.
Oh.
You go from restaurant to restaurant. How about some fries? Next person that offers me fries, you're going over the edge.
We're going to see what happens with this. We're going to see if, we're going to follow the story as much as we can and see if that actually does come true, because they still have several more world-class ships that they've contracted to build already.
3 more,
so,
right?
Yeah.
They're coming out?
Yeah.
Well, I do know, I like reading about ships. So I know that literally they're not even close to like the technical limits of building a ship and how big it can get. I mean, they're not even close.
Okay.
I think they can go
What about
like
ports?
twice as large
I
as
think the ports are what.
the ports are a big problem.
Yeah.
And moving the ships once they're in the ocean, if you go past what can fit in the Panama Canal
You can't ever.
or the, I really don't know. I think the Panama Canal is more of a problem than the Suez.
It is.
But once you go past the limits of the Panama Canal, then
It's stuck
it becomes much harder.
Yeah.
You have to go all the way around or go around the tip of, and I know that they don't like doing that with the big ships. They don't like doing that. They don't like risking those big ships down there.
No.
So,
But then your ports are really limited. So then at that point, it's really like you're going on a vacation for that ship. That ship becomes your destination. So, and it's going to be interesting to see even like Ocean K, what it's going to be like when these larger ships are there. There's going to be a lot of people on it.
twice as much as normal.
I think it can handle it. But anyway.
How many people fit on World Europa? 6,000?
I think it's up to 7.
Oh, is it 7? Oh my goodness. Then that means it's going to be
Let's
like
see.
8 for no.
How many? The Euro. How many passengers?
World Europa, I think, is 6,000. And then when the new ships come out, whatever they are, it'll probably be like close to 7,000, I bet.
Let's see how many passengers.
Can you even imagine if it gets like hugely bigger?
6,700 on World Europa, so it's going to be pretty similar for World America. So I think it's going to be closer, like
Wow,
up to like
over 7,000 for
Yeah.
the new ships.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That is. To give you guys a little bit of context, I kind of looked at what some of the largest ships of the different lines are, so you can kind of like get some kind of idea of how big we're talking. So Celebrity's largest is the Celebrity Ascent, and that's at 140,000. And these are all going to be gross tonnage. NCL is their breakaway series, which Bliss is one of them, and that's at 168K. The Sun Princess is Princess Cruises' largest. That's their brand new ship that just came out at 175,000. Carnival is between the Celebration and the Jubilee, but they're right around 183,000. The Europa and the World America are quite a jump from there at 215,000. Royal Caribbean has a ton, but I'm just going to tell you, like, the Icon, which is obviously the largest ship in the world, is 248. So that's like double some of those. Well, not quite double, but
so it's
pretty
be
big.
2,000 tons more.
So what's kind of funny is an MSC's like, okay, well, like, we're going to try to do the biggest, right? Well, they don't need to go very much more. They just need to be a little bit more, and then they will be the world's largest cruise ship, which I think is funny. But then
somebody will get even bigger pretty soon. In another year, there'll be an even bigger ship.
Yeah. So it won't hold the title for long, probably, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
It is. I'm all for new ships.
Yeah.
I love going on new ships and experiencing something new and finding those fun, unique experiences on each ship. Because each ship, I think, holds something unique that you can
absolutely
find and enjoy. And
you never have to leave the ship to have a great time. And of course, I think MSC is, of course, looking into the future where they have their terminal in Miami that's going to hold any of these kind of ships. So they already got that down.
3 of their ships,
or 2 mega ships,
one of this gigantic, huge.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of people. So anyway,
that's kind of really quick. Driving in and out of Miami is an absolute nightmare
already.
I mean, if you think that you have patience, the real test, forget about like trying to land the lunar lander on the moon with limited fuel. No, try to get into Miami without somebody yelling at you and almost having 18 accidents.
So when we drive down from North Carolina, maybe 7 hours to get from North Carolina to like Jupiter, Palm Beach area, and then another 7 hours to get to Miami.
And 6 of those hours are from the entrance into the port to actually getting in the parking space.
Yeah. So fun times ahead for that. Obviously, it's not going to be for a while, but okay. So we just wanted to kind of share with you a little bit behind the scenes with kind of what we kind of plan and the things that are important to us, as we're kind of getting ready to go. So this is rolling back to the beginning. We spent a lot of money today.
Well, over the last year, we've been trying to upgrade everything. Our equipment for our vlogs, our equipment for getting around efficiently while we're on trips, adventures. Our studio, trying to upgrade the equipment in our studio, trying to bring just a little bit nicer stuff to our channel. So we've been searching that out and slowly making purchases because couldn't do it all at once.
Yeah, we're trying to be smart about
cruises at the same time and booking the cruises and all that stuff. So we've been kind of slowly doing that over.
But it's probably opposite of what you think. We have kind of made the decision personally that what's best for us is to better quality equipment, smaller size. So, and we've done this for a while, but we actually do most of our filming from our iPhones. And so I think on this last trip we did exclusively on our iPhones, pretty much.
I would say that we flipped for our last trip.
Yeah.
Previous to that, we used our main camera probably
our Sony ZV-1.
75% of the time for like our main shots.
Yeah.
Our B-roll is pretty much always
iPhones. Yeah.
And then we flipped that. And this last cruise, we were like, let's just try to go even smaller.
Right. And more inconspicuous. Yeah.
So we went with iPhones almost exclusively.
Yep.
Almost exclusive. A couple things we shot with the main camera, but
right. And I think so moving forwards, I'm not even sure our main camera is going to go with us. I think the Sony is going to stay home and is basically going to be our iPhones. And that just works best for us and how we like to do it. And I know that.
Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Hold on to your thought there.
Okay.
Not only does it work very well for us because it's easier, it's more spontaneous to film. You get moments a little bit more genuine moments.
Correct. Yeah.
When you're not having to whip out a gigantic camera. I mean, they're not gigantic, but they're,
definitely noticeable.
They're bigger than a phone.
Yeah.
And make sure that the microphone's working and stuff like that. Not only is that better for us, it's infinitely better, I think. And this is my main reason for doing it, is I never want to be so intrusive to other guests because they are on there for a vacation. We're on there for a vacation / we want to film for the channel.
Right.
They're on there to relax and have a great vacation, holiday on board.
Yeah.
And for some people, having somebody whip out a camera and start filming, that just adds stress to their vacation. And I don't think that's necessarily something that I would like to do.
Right.
So,
well, that's what I was going to say. I know that, recently in the YouTube kind of world, I know the Ben and David situation where they were asked to stop filming kind of blew up.
Does that have a name? Is it like the B&D gate?
B&D, something. I don't know.
MSC gate?
Yeah. That really doesn't play into anything of what we're choosing for us. We don't want to say, we're concerned that MSC might tell us to stop cruising or stop filming if they see us with a regular camera. No, none of that. Absolutely none of that. We have no concerns whatsoever about that. So just wanted to kind of put that out there that doesn't play any part in what we're choosing to do. But so anyway, these new phones that we're getting are the newest ones, the 15 Pro Max, whatever. And these gosh darn cameras on these phones are better than... They're good. They're good cameras. I don't know the specs. Chris knows all the specs, but they are excellent cameras to film with.
Yeah, for all the tech people that are listening, it's not a big sensor, which that plays a part in the picture that you get. But phones utilize codecs that are very efficient compared to some cameras. So they use things called high dynamic range, which exposes a little bit better. And in the new phones, you can shoot in something called log. This is all getting technical. I would need to shut up probably.
You're fine.
You can shoot in log, which allows you to then correct all of the colors and the exposure later on when you're editing, which is really nice for a lot of shots to be able to really get that dynamic range that you're looking for. So
they take really pretty pictures,
and you get that in a smaller area that you're wielding around.
Yeah,
everybody's got their phone out taking pictures and video on a cruise. So if I do it too, I don't feel intrusive to somebody else.
We've noticed a huge difference with that when we're not carrying our Sony with our little shotgun microphone.
That's what I was just going to say. One of our purchases, is the small little microphones that we got. They are tiny.
Yeah, we
They're
got
like
the
the size of a button on your shirt.
We'll probably you won't even probably see them in this upcoming cruise because we're going to do hide them a little bit more, but they'll still sound really good.
Right. So if you see me talking into Beth's hair, you'll know that we hit it in Beth's hair. Come here, Ryan. Back of her head, I'm talking to. So it went from, a shotgun microphone. We still bought a smaller shotgun microphone that we use with the Sony. It's not huge, but it looks strange to walk around. People don't normally walk around with a big furry hot dog looking thing. Well, it's bigger than that, like a summer sausage. Probably. A big furry summer sausage stuck to their camera. Yeah. They don't do that. So when you do that, people immediately notice that you're filming. And we thought that moving to that smaller microphone was a first step in minimizing our filming imprint.
And I think it works for us too, right? So with our Sony, we had one camera, so we would always be like sharing it between us. But with our phones, which by the way, they're like what, $1,600 phones? $1,700. So the camera, I mean, they're really, really good quality. Now we kind of have two now that we can play with, so we can get a little bit more. And if you know our filming style, that doesn't change. That's kind of, Chris likes the nice, pretty, steady shots in the time lapses, and I'm like all, whoa. So we kind of blend the two of us together, and that's who we are. So we just thought we'd share that. Just little detail about kind of how we're going to go moving forward, and
hopefully bring you guys a little bit nicer looking, nicer feeling, more immersive experience.
More
when
genuine.
You watch our videos.
More genuine. And that's really
sure.
honestly what we want, because we don't like setting up, shots. We've kind of changed the way we've done a lot of that. So, I like setting up shots. Don't even say that I don't like setting up shots. Yeah, but I love setting up shots. We've changed the way we do things a lot, and so it just makes it a little bit more real. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just more real, not like production. Always.
You mean that shot of me walking down a hallway? I just happened to find security footage. Yeah. I didn't walk back after I edited that
to grab your camera.
Walk back and grab the camera and then walk down that hallway again.
There is some of that, but you threw me. I guess that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. So we're just kind of getting ready, excited for the next trip coming up. So.
Yeah, a couple of really exciting things we found out just today.
I know.
So that's awesome. It was a good day for
good things in the future for
cruising
MSC
world.
That's right.
The YouTube cruising world is a good day.
We are happy to be your MSC headquarters. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. We'll try it one more time. We are happy to be your MSC news headquarters. There we go. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. I thought we pushed a cruise cast back that we had planned for today. We pushed it back a week because we found out this news today, and we thought this is important, fun information. We
have two really fun, I'm going to tell you, podcasts coming up. I'm not sure if they're going to come out before or after our trip. We have to play that all out. We're going to talk about the 10 worst things about MSC.
The bottom 10? MSC's bottom
10. Real honestly, some of the bad stuff. And then we're going to talk about the 10 top things with MSC.
MSC's top 10.
Yeah, so we're going to have two different podcasts, but it's going to be fun to kind of compare those. So
exactly.
So we can bring to you all the realness of MSC, the good and the bad.
So if you guys are like me and like those lists that like when anybody on YouTube puts out the top 38 things you can't miss on the World Europa, you're like, it's like, of course I'll watch that. It's the 38 things. Exactly. I gotta take notes and find out.
So those are some fun podcasts coming up. But that is what we have for you today. Thank you so much for taking the time and listening and watching. Please comment about what you are excited about with MSC coming up. That's all we have, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.